Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial how to model a jewelry ring with bezel stone settings with Shaper 3D. In this process video, I will show you how I set up my basic ring band and diamonds of various sizes, including matching bezel settings. Explored the stone placement via copy and paste of individual bezel setting tubes, and finish the design by exploring various band details. I will show you quite a lot of very interesting direct modeling tips and tricks. Please feel free to download the shared final design so you can follow this demonstration better and explore the design on your own. Great, let's get started. Let me explain you everything inside the browser on the left side. On top, you see Diamond Raw. And then at the bottom, you see Ring Final 2. And everything in between, that is representing actually the chronological order, how I created everything. So there is at the top the start, and at the bottom the finished part. And then there are the 3 sketches I needed. Now we would like to create a jewelry ring with bezel settings. So we need stones. There is a set of diamonds I imported. These are STL files I generated. And on top is a 6mm, and at the bottom, a small tiny 0.5mm diamond. Now, obviously, such a small stone doesn't make any sense. I just put it in just for scale reference. So you can see also how stones, when we go in 0.5mm steps, for example, get smaller and smaller and smaller. Now, from this setting of stones, I created myself a small selection of a stone that is 4, 3, 5, and 2mm. I felt these were very good sizes. Then, after I measured the finger, the inner diameter, I created 2 rings. An inner ring representing the inner part, where the finger goes through, and a bigger ring representing the material thickness of the band. You will also notice that actually these 2 rings are not perfectly centered. The outer ring is a little bit up. That's on purpose because I wanted the ring at the bottom to be thin and then to the top actually get wider. Okay, very good. Now where we have stones, we also need something to hold the stones. In this exercise, we will explore and work with bezel setting. So let me hide actually the diamonds and then zoom in a little bit. And there you can see, for example, the lines I created for the bezel setting, including the angle. Everything is roughly set actually to match the diamonds. And here is the geometry of all these bezel settings. Very good. Now later, because I know I need to do cuts into the ring band, I also created actually these objects, and they will be used to cut holes through the ring bands. So essentially clear the space inside the bezel settings so we can later put in the stones and then, kind of like with the bezel setting tool, a cup, press the outer ring over the stones. Very good. Now I also created an extrusion of the reference for my ring. A little tip how this can easily be done. So I extrude this one out, 3mm, another 3mm. Very good. Now this is a flat bend. How did I create actually those angled sides? Well, select a side, and then we can rotate it. Pretty nice. Do the same here. Very good. And if this is then too wide, no problem. Select the face, and then we move each side. There we are. Okay. So quite simple. This ring band actually was very useful to understand how far and where I can position actually the individual cylinders, so the bezel settings. Before I now continue, here's actually one really important tip. You see here, there are these stones, and I have the stones there. So when I want to bring this bezel setting down, see, I double tap it, turn on the copy, and then I move this down. You do not, it's more based up to you, but I would advise that you do not just make a copy of this and then move this down. We will actually do both at the same time. There, copy, and then move this one down. Make a copy of, move this till it touches the bottom area. Pretty good. And then we can move this over where we would like this to be positioned. Very nice. Okay, so you see how actually from the master I make a copy and then I move this down to where I need it. Very easy. Okay, so this was an easy one. Let's double tap in here. Now we would like to make another copy, move this to the other side and rotate it. So how do we do this? So this copy now I can select, turn on the copy function. The widget I move down to the center and I can bring this over to here a little bit. Now I turn the make copy off and rotate it as needed. Pretty good. Let's do a quick check. This I turn off because I want to make sure that the two tubes do not intersect too much. They have to touch a little bit. That's good. Perfect. This also keeps actually these two rings free. So later when I want to put my bezel setting tool over it, I can very easily press each ring down. Very good. Okay, so now we could think, let's put actually a stone there in between. We will select this one. Make a copy, bring this one down. Adjust this. There. So now I will see there's actually quite a big hole. So I will bring this one to there. Very good. Let's take a look when we show the ring band. It sticks over the ring band. That is good. But where this is positioned, that's not really optimal. So there you see, reposition this, maybe bring this over to there a little bit. And let's rotate it. Okay, very good. There. Then this we can bring in a little bit more. Maybe we can connect this. Oh yeah, that's nice. Cool. Okay. So essentially you can see that now I would continue making copies of all the individual other elements, position them, rotate them, till, for example, I have everything filled up the way how I want. So little tip, we would like this to come over to the other side. What's the easiest way? Well, in case this is a symmetrical design, very easy. We select both objects, then we go to one of these views. So I'm looking perpendicular onto the other side where I would like to mirror this over. Let's tap the screen, done. There we are. Pretty good. So you don't have to do each side manually. You just work on half and then you mirror it over. Very good. Okay, so let me select all those and remove them. Very good. Okay. So this process and then resulted into the stones and the tube settings all positioned like there. Very good. When we turn on the ring band and we zoom in, there we see some problems. So for example, this face, this face, this face, they're not flush. That's not really good. So how can we fix this? Super easy. I would make a copy of all these rings, put them into a new folder. For example, the way how to do this is here I select 2, bring this down to there. So I made a new copy. Very good. And then I could, for example, go to here and say, move to here. There are these 2 objects. And then I can drag these 2 together. So this is how we can do this with individual elements. If, however, and this is the way how I did it, we would like to do this to a complete set, then we simply select the folder, turn on the copy, move up and back, and it makes actually a copy for us. Pretty cool, no? Yeah. Then we can select all the faces we would like to work with and extend them. So you will see that there the cylinders start to actually intersect. That's not really a big problem because that later will actually be removed anyway. So I will hide them. Very good. And all these cylinders I will join. So let's see. Oh. I actually did a little mistake. Yep. So be careful when we do this union. I actually keep copy on. Done. There we are. There you see, it is just one object. Okay, let's hide the diamond one. There we are. And I will select the inner area here. Then extrude this as a new body. Very good. Move this back. There we are. And then from this body, I would like the cylinder to be removed. And that will then actually result into this shape there. You see they are actually all trimmed. In this folder, I still have the individual elements. Let's join them together. There. Very nice. Okay. So you see, it is actually not really complicated to create such a detailed structure. It's really more a matter of pre-planning everything and then making smart use of copy and paste and rotating and translation. And then we clean everything up afterwards. So the bezel setting, on the bezel settings more, is actually pretty much done. So let's take a look at the ring band, what we can do with it. I have this ring band, then here I have these cuts. Oh yeah, so how did I do these cuts? You remember? I was talking about those tube cuts here. So when I have this, I can actually cut this all out of a ring band. Let me show you how I got all those to there. In my process, I actually created these cut elements afterwards, and then I moved them into the position. Now, you can obviously also from the beginning make a copy of a diamond of the tube cut element and the bezel setting tube itself. If, for example, you did not, this is actually a really nice example to demonstrate how well Shaper's alignment tool works. I make a copy of this, then I select the ring, select a ring, and say align. And that's it. Pretty amazing, no? Make a copy, ring, ring, and align. I on purpose selected a smaller tube just so you see how perfectly it actually aligns it, not only at the center, but also the rotation. And also there in this case, because this is a symmetrical ring, all I needed to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I mirrored it over. And I had then all those here. Very good. Same deal also here, maybe. I needed to extend those down to make them a little bit longer. So now from this ring, I can remove all those. That's actually very easy. We select the ring, then we select the folder with all the cut elements, subtract, and you want to keep the remove body turned on, and then we click done. So that keeps a copy of those. Only here, now there you can see, we have all these elements cut out. Super. And then to this ring, we can join all those here. Keep the original. This actually now I have to move to here. The object was moved into that folder. There we are. Okay, very good. Okay. The reason why you want to keep the copies clearly is, well, if we made a mistake and we delete this, I would like to have all my individual elements first. Now here I did the cut also on the original ring band, so that is actually consumed. But we can repair this too. Again, a really nice demonstration about how great direct modeling in Shaper works. So even if by accident you did not make yourself a copy, not a big problem. We can fix this. And there we are. Okay, well, let's hide this. So this was one step. And yeah, what did I do here? So I started to think about, so if I have my settings on there, do I really like all these holes there in between? The settings are actually connected, so they are quite strong. Do I really need to have the material of the band there in between? So I used this and I created another sketch. Actually, let's hide this and let's hide this. There we are. So how did I create this? First, the left and right edge from the band, I actually projected onto the sketch. That is the way how I got these outer lines. Then I locked actually these two lines. You see here, this is locked. So they do not move. And then I used the offset command to create myself two offsets and connected a line, because then I have a nice V. With this V, I can simply make a cut. There you see. And then I could go ahead. Might have to zoom in more. There is the edge. And then this edge we round and we fill this back in. That's exactly the way how then I came up these two fragments. Now, why is there actually a fragment? Well, this is because the V cut so much material that actually here this one became a freestanding body. But that's not really a big problem because, well, we have our stone setting and I will join everything back together and then this connects it. And then this process basically generated this design. So a flat band, I rounded some edges, and then we have a lot of cavities and small windows there in between. And then to make sure everything's strong enough, there is sufficient connection between all these individual cylindrical shapes. And then ask myself the question, well, maybe the inside, do I really like this? Maybe I want this to be shaped differently. To make a ring feel nice and comfortable, we can make the inside of the ring not to be flat, but be slightly curved. So for example, here, there you see, we go to this view. There you can see there's a little bit of material. It's not 100% really a flat design. Let me show you how I did this. I made actually a copy of this, and then I removed all these fillets here. So it's nice and round. So let's do this. So we're going to make a copy. Up and down. Very good. So here. Again, this is a very good exercise to show you how fantastic we can remove features afterwards. There we are. Okay. So I would like this to be more bent. That also means maybe I should actually shrink the inner area a little bit first. Very good. Okay. And I have down here ring band. So let's go to the top view, turn on cut section view, and there you can see I have there actually a shape. This is a 3-point hit point spline. The left and the right point are made symmetrical to this line. And then here I have 2 more lines to create a nice filled sketch. And this shape, when I select these 2 profiles, select the correct axis, I make a revolve object. There we are. Okay, so the revolve object is not wide enough. Good, let's extend it. There. And then select this, and say subtract. In this case here for us, I will do it this way. Cut this away. And there we have it. Beautiful. And then we could go ahead and based on how we would like to round everything, select certain edges and do our filleting. So this here I will delete and show the final version here. There you can see from here that I actually rounded all these vertical edges first. I did not want there to have sharp edges. And then later, to round all these edges all at once, I selected the inner face and then actually I did a fillet. I can quickly demonstrate how this works here. So you see this is selected and on the left side, select chamfer fillet. There you see now both edges are selected. And then this way we can round all the edges which will be selected. Super easy. Okay, that basically sums up the whole process, how I brought in the diamonds, made a basic band, and then via copy and paste created a bezel setting layout. And then via copies, kind of like browse my individual work stages, so I could always go back, make variations and adjustments to it, and then very easily create 1, 2, 3, 4 different designs with much less work than always having to start completely from the beginning.